Hello guys, welcome back to SAP Freelearner channels. Okay, so here today in our last video we discussed about SAP NetWeaver. That last we discussed, and today we are going to discuss about SAP ABAP programs, reports, okay, and data dictionary, DDIC that we discussed yesterday, right? So we are going to discuss that SE11 transaction and SE38 transaction, okay, and all these transactions can be accessed, decodes can be accessed in SE80. Remember SE80, ABAP Development Workbench. Remember that, guys. That is your Bible. Okay, so my screen is still stuck. So let me come out of these transactions. Let me kill all the transactions. If I could kill this. So there is something called stop transaction. You see here, there is one option here, stop transaction. Something is hang or something. I can try this, doing stop transaction, and most likely it should stop the transaction and you should be able to come out of it. So I will log in again, and today we are going to do more system stuff, okay, rather than PPT and Googling, okay, which is my favorite thing to do. I like Google, man. Okay, so let's come to this one. First of all, we will discuss something about basics about SAP ABAP report, okay, in SE38. So SE38 is the transaction code for creating SAP reports or programs, what we call, and here you see a lot of options. I will discuss one by one each of the options. So first of all, I will tell you what is ABAP program and what is report and what are all the different types of program that we have in SAP. So program is basically it's a set of executable code that we write in SAP, or it has been written by SAP. We have a lot of reports already given by SAP. You can search with anything. Let's say mostly, first of all, naming convention of the program always start with Y or Z. That is called namespace. Okay, client namespace in SAP. There is some concept called client namespace. Okay, so let me close this. What is it? Okay, so if you see, there is something called client namespace. Client namespace. What is this namespace? All the programs or all the objects you create in SAP, almost every one of it starts with Y or Z. So let's say you create any object, any development object in SAP in SE80 transaction. So SE80 transaction is nothing but one-stop solution for all the different transactions. Okay, system engineering, as we discussed, SE80 to create any type of data objects. So when I say development object, data object, those are nothing but whatever we are going to create or develop. So whatever we develop or given by SAP already for fetching reports or updating tables or reading data or whatever it is. So all the things are, those things comes under a development object. So all this, whatever we create, starts with Y or Z, alphabetic letter. Okay, so let's say I want to create a program to print sales orders. So I will, let's say I will give the name, I will start with Z. Generally what we do, we give the area a module name. We had FICO, we had SD module, sales and distribution, material management. So we follow that kind of naming convention, so that just looking at the name of the report, I will use the term program or report interchangeably. There is a small difference. I will tell you what is the difference. All reports are program, but all programs are not report. Okay, when we say report, so I will say ZMM, material management program. Okay, underscore, let's say purchase order print, I am saying. So purchase order print program, let's say. So this I will give the name, let's say something like this. Okay, so this is how the naming convention generally we follow. It varies from project to project, client to client. Everybody has their own naming convention, but it has to start with Y or Z. Why there is segregation? Because from the letter A to X, it is being used by SAP itself. Okay, for delivering you the program pre-packaged solution they deliver it. They have the programs and reports already given for us for standard use. That day we talked about standard to fit. Okay, so the business which fits to standard to SAP directly, they directly use all the SAP provided reports, all the standard reports. Those we call as standard reports. Okay, standard programs or standard objects. Okay, so standard objects, we call it standard objects. Okay, if it's a report, then it's standard report. If it's a table, then it's a standard table. Okay, so all will start with either A to X. If it starts with from letter A to X, then it's a standard object, and if it starts with Y or Z, it may be custom. Okay, so why there is segregation? Because SAP provides you support. When you're a SAP customer, SAP provides support as well, and SAP provides you option to enhance these reports or make changes to these standard reports. There are options to do that. Okay, so in case you are developing something on your own custom report or custom objects, so if there is any issue in that, SAP is not going to respond to you. SAP is not going to take responsibility for that. Anything goes wrong in this namespace. Okay, if you develop any custom report or anything which is not delivering correct result, so SAP is not responsible for that. But if anything goes wrong in this namespace, SAP is going to get back to you. They might give you like a proposed solution or something called notes or something they will give you to fix that issue. They will help you out there. Okay, so that is that's where the SAP comes up with this segregation. Okay, and there is a limit on the length, how much. I think 30 characters is the length for this, or giving the name of the any program or report you create. So there are two types of program in SAP. Okay, so in SAP we have two types of program. Two types of programs. Number one is ABAP04 program or report. Okay, reports, that's what I told you, difference between reports and program. So reports is a type of program. Okay, and then there is dialog program. So dialog program, so this is nothing but module pool that I told you about, PBA and PAI, all those stuff. So this is module pool that will come into picture, and this is report. So what is the difference between these two? It can be executed without transaction code. Can be I will come to that. We will create one report executed without T code, transaction code, and here can be, you see, can be, not must, it can be. There can be a T code associated with it to execute this report. I will show you what I mean by that. And here we have T code, mandatory T code, mandatory T code. Okay, so without T code you cannot execute this program. So there are two types of, these are the two types of ABAP programs. Okay, let's come to the screen. We'll discuss these things, what is without T code, with T code, and all the stuff. So let's come first, check out this screen first. What are all these things? So you see these buttons, this we discussed, that application toolbar. This was system toolbar, which doesn't change it, system property. This is title bar, as we discussed. Here title is coming. This is your application toolbar. This is menu bar. This is here, right down here, just before left off with this SAP, this is status. Here you will have all the logon information, program and session name. You see transaction code, it says SE38. So you can select here what you want to display here. Right now system is selected, you can select client, so it will start displaying client. You can select here, let's say transaction, so it will start showing you transaction. Okay, so currently we are in SE38 transaction, user is this, client is this, and system is this, system ID is this, and the rest all you can ignore. And you can minimize it or maximize it. So I will switch it back to system because I would like to know which system I am in, because I have ECC here in this server and I have HANA server and everything. So I like to know which I am logged in, so I will keep it system. Okay, so coming to these options, first of all, let's see this. This is what? This is called check. So whenever we write a code, there has to be a syntax check. Whatever you are writing is correct or not. Okay, then we have, so this button does that. So whatever the program name is there, you just give the name here and you click on check, it will check it. And when you will go inside this program and click display, it will display the code and all. There also these buttons will be there. You can see these buttons there also. Maybe delete won't be there, I'm not sure, but most of these will be available there. Okay, so now this is activate. So these buttons are available here without going inside. You can do from on the screen itself. So I will check, I will show you. There is the F4 help, you see. So how to search any report? Let's say SAP provided report, I want to search any report which is starting with S. Let's say you will Google, okay, and you will Google and just Google that standard SAP report SAP report for open purchase order. You see, something came. So it will give you a name which will be like starting with from the letter A to S, something between that. Okay, so somewhere you can Google, or they have given direct T codes, not the program name. So let's see, there's I think there's something called RMDB doc. RMDB doc, one report is there, or RDBM doc something. Yeah, RMDB doc. Okay, so let's do one thing here. Let's search that program. Okay, I will give R star. I don't remember. Let's say I remember just it is something related to IDOC. What are IDOCs and all? We will also see. That is also part of this course. IDOC stands for intermediate documents, which basically needs to send data from SAP to legacy system and then bring from SAP to SAP or non-SAP. It's like communicating with outside system. Okay, it may be SAP or it may not be SAP as well. So we'll see that. So you see, I give this and I give star R star IDOC star. So all the things containing this string, it is searching that, it is showing you here. And here says no, not all search results are here or not. So what to do to see all? What you do, you just press F4 button here. So what it will do, it will show you the search result with that, you see. And here you can find using find button also. You can find as we don't know the name, so we have to search one by one. Let's say I don't remember, it is RMDB ad hoc, RFDP ad hoc, or DBM ad hoc, what is it? So I have to search here. By the description let's say I'm looking for something which can process outbound inbound ad hocs. So these are heavy terms to use now, but bear with me please. So it's just to make you understand how to make search here. Okay, how to make use of F4 help. So you can search, let's say okay, I will go to this is, you see, I think it is in alphabetical order, so we have to go to RM, then it will be easier. It will be easier to find out. RF, one sec. So here you see both buttons, up and down, both you can do from here. Okay, RJL P, I think we missed M. So here RJ M. Oh, not there. How come it's not there? It's generally present in SAP system. Let's say I was looking for this report, for example. So you see, now I have searched this report, and you see here I can execute. So this is activate. If I will give syntax check on this program, so it will give you the errors or any warning. So you see there are 6 warnings, 0 errors, 6 warning and all. Okay, so you can close this. You can just ignore these things. Warning generally we ignore. We are concerned about errors. So you can do the syntax check. Then we have activate button. What is activate? So let's say I created some program. I gave one name, right? Something I was writing. Let's take this ZMM. Okay, and I will create this program. Okay, so let's see first if anything is existing starting with Z. You see, a lot of people have created a lot of programs. Okay, so and they have given a description. So I will go to, you can open it in display mode, you can open it in change mode. If someone else is already, oh, I think this is something else. This is not an executable program. We have to look for something jet test. Let's see if anybody has created anything. Yes, somebody has created something. Okay, so I can go in either in change mode. Okay, you see code is there, or if I want I can go in display mode as well. So what will happen, let's say I want to see this code or execute this code, somebody else is also logged in and that developer is making some changes to this code, so I won't be able to go in change mode. You can go from here also in change mode and then back to display mode from here as well. Okay, so you see these activate button, syntax check button, all are present here as well. So you can do syntax check on this. You see no syntax error found, so this is correct syntactically. And then you can jump from here to other program if you want, other development object. You see in your development object you can jump from, you can F4 help, you can search and directly jump to the other report from here. You can create a copy of this report if you want. You see here copy button is there, or you can delete this program if you want. Okay, but if somebody is editing, definitely it won't allow you to do that. And then display So this is how it works. And then this is, I'll show you what is that. This is activate. Just remember this: activate, execute, where use. So where use list will say that where this program has been used. Generally what will happen that inside one program we call another program. That is another concept. We will see that. Okay, so it will give you where use list of that program, or if you have selected a variable, it will give you the where use list of the variable where all it has been used. Okay, then we have this navigation tree. It will show you SEAT. It will show you the look and feel of SEAT, remember. So it will go to now a web development workbench mode. So there it looks like this. Okay, so you can, I don't remember how to close this. Wow. I think there is some option to close this, not this one. You can change screen size from here, definitely. You can drag left, drag right. But anyways, and that is one thing. Then these are for debugging, and then you can full screen mode. You can switch to full screen. Yes, this is the one. Full screen to remove that SEAT navigation tree. Okay, so this is display object list actually. Yes, it object list. So, and this is pretty printer to align your code. I will show you what pretty printer does. Okay, what I will do, let's say I will misalign it. Okay, I write code somewhere else. I will write it like this. It's not aligned. Now I will do pretty printer. What it will do, it should align actually. It depends on settings. So if you see here, go to settings, and here you can see pretty printer settings. So what it does, indent, lowercase, uppercase, keyword uppercase you can do. So it will check everything too, and pattern, and a lot of things are there, right? So here I believe indent, I think something we need to do to align it. Oh, come on. We are currently discussing all the options. Okay, why it's not happening? Source code was changed. Okay, I have to save, and then we will see this. Okay, we will get back to this one. Let's see. So that is how you can open in display and change mode. There is shortcut as well. You see, I think S7 or something is there, 4 buttons for display and change mode. Then you can delete the program, you can copy the program and create a new one, and then you can go to different, you can rename the program if you want. Okay, so be careful with this one. Okay, do not rename unnecessarily, but you can rename any program you want. Okay, then debugging with variants. What are these things? These things will show, and this again execute. You see, execute, and here also execute with debugging. This is execution with variant. What it means, when you execute any report, the output came. So generally what happens, whenever we execute a report, a selection screen comes. Selection screen means where you can provide an input that we were talking about, that I'm giving a date range, I want all the sales order on that particular date. So that is the place, that is called selection screen in SAP. Okay, so we will talk about that. So whenever we execute, what is this activate? So whenever we create a program or change a program, we first save it and then we activate it. So why there are two options? Without activating, those changes will not appear to other users. It will only be in your system, and your program will be in inactive state. I will show you what I will do. I will go it in change mode, and I will make some changes, any change you do. Okay, and just save it. You see, it is in inactive mode now. See, it changed. It's changed here. Okay, so now as it has changed in inactive state, so what to do to activate it? So we have to click this activate button. First of all, whenever you make changes, just save those changes so that you keep changing the program, but you might not have reached the desired result. Okay, so you want to just save your changes and call it a day, and next day you again want to come and then again you want to execute the program. Okay, so but what happens when other user wants to use that? So they won't be seeing that inactive change actually. Okay, for them it will have it will say that there is a temporary version which is inactive, but they will always execute the active version. So what will happen, that existing functionality, what it was supposed to do, it will keep doing, and your inactive version will not be displayed to any other user apart from you. So once you again come back and try to log in, when go into change mode, so it will pick this inactive version and it will show you whatever the change, whatever you have done, and then it will ask you to activate at the end. So So technically it won't show you any message or anything, but if you want those changes to take effect anywhere, you have to activate. So that is the difference between save and activating a report. So saving, just commit your changes, it keeps your changes in the database, okay, but activating it is releasing to everyone else. Everyone else in this system who logs into this system will be able to execute those changes. Okay, so I gave a new parameter, let's say on the screen, or new variable. So I am printing something else. Let's say I will write SFL SAP Freelearner. Okay, that is a string, so I will write like this. Don't worry about this, we are going to see how this program syntax and everything. Okay, so let's save. I saved it, I activated it, and now I will execute it. So you see SFL got printed here. And if I will just let's say I will comment this one. Yes, so how to comment a code and how to uncomment, that's a shortcut. Shortcut is very simple. It's CTRL control button or your Windows computer plus control. Along with that you have to press less than key. Okay, so less than key, control plus less than key, and to uncomment you have to do control plus greater than. Okay, so greater than key. So if you will do that, you see I have commented this and I will uncomment this code. So commented code will never get executed. So comment, uncomment. Or you can just write in the beginning, you can just put a double quote. Okay, so what is the difference between double quote and saying that star that we have put, or manually you can put a star here. Okay, entire line will get commented. Okay, and what is the difference between that control greater than and smaller than and this star? Sorry, double quotes, because double quotes you have to put individually in each line, or whatever the line, wherever you will put it, after that it will become commented. Okay, so that is the thing about double quotes. But star always comes in the beginning first of all, and then you can select this entire thing, entire piece of code, and you can press control and less than. It will all get commented, and similarly uncomment it using the same technique, control greater than. So that is the difference between these two. So now I have an inactive object here. Let's say I will comment this, so, and I will try to execute. Let's say I will save these changes, I will try to execute. Okay, so what will happen? Let's see. So I believe something has gone wrong. It should throw error or some warning that you have inactive version and all. It's not showing currently. Let's stop this transaction. Let's not waste time. Okay, so I hope you got the essence of saving and activating a program, why it is mandatory to activate. So once you don't activate, this change will not take effect, and other people will not be able to execute your changes. Okay, so yeah, transaction reset. You see, I can kill the transaction also. Okay, and this menu also you can design. Just Google it, how to design this menu. I think from here you can change you customize your menu. You can edit. You see, I believe you can create shortcut on the desktop, or I think right click and you can add. You see, add other objects, other folders. So you can add your favorite T codes that you frequently use. Generally for ABAP SE80 will be there, SE11, SE38, those things will be configured here. So you can enable those and activate. Or for financial, or you see, from here also you can go tools. You see, from tools, ABAP workbench, and then development workbench. You see, SE11, SE80, LT11, SE38, ABAP editor, SE37 function builder, SE class builder, everything is here. Got it? All the tools that you need for development. Okay, so let's go back to our report. We were discussing the front, sorry, SE38 I have to give. If SE38 doesn't work, put /n in the beginning. Okay, now coming back to what is source code, and we saw this execution part. So when we execute, it will show you generally an input screen. We will see that, we will create an on our own. Just try to understand right now. This will give you where usage. Just click on this, it will ask you to where all you want to search. So these are all different things, development objects which are available in SAP, right? So you select all and you try to search this program. It will give you a where use list if it is being used anywhere. So it is not being used currently anywhere. We will see on the tables. When you will do where use list on a table, you will find multiple programs and development objects where they are being used. Okay, so Now coming back to the next option, what is this? Environment analysis. This I'm not sure. This is information, online help, that you can ignore, delete. You can delete the program. A standard program, I don't think you will be able to delete. It will ask you for a key. Okay. Then this is copy, this is rename, this is debugging. What is debugging? If we want to execute line by line code, okay, so if you see here, for debugging you have to put something called breakpoints. So something is going wrong, let's say, in the code, and I want to analyze. Let's first activate the object. Okay, so when I activate, you see a list of object appears. Okay, window appears. So that is those number of objects are inactive state currently by this user. So the user which is logged on, BEST, best I have logged on with, right? That user has those many inactive objects in his work list, and he has not activated those. It might be a table, it might be a class, it might be any other development object which are inactive currently. So that's why all the things pops up. So if I will do this, save and activate, you see, and this is something class, I believe. These are a class, maybe. This is enhancement object. Then these are reports. Okay, so I have to select the current report, which will be by default selected. If I want to activate all, I will just select all from here. There is select all button is there, you see, select all, deselect all. I will select only this report because currently I'm active. I'm not sure what is going wrong with. If anything error happens in other reports, any error is there, it won't activate, and it won't activate this report also. So I don't select others. I will independently activate this report. I will click OK. So it will activate it. Now these changes, whatever change I have done, commented this, it will be available for user. Now it will directly print SFL here. It won't print that LV1 variable, whatever this variable was having the value. Okay. So we were discussing about this breakpoint thing, right? So any executable line of code, we can put a breakpoint here. You see, either just click here and just click here on this particular gray area, you see, in front of any line, or you can just select. If you again click on that, it will go away, and then use this set delete session breakpoint. You can write like. And there are again breakpoint are of two types: session breakpoint and like external breakpoint. We will discuss that later in debugging. Okay. So this you see here, I put a breakpoint, and now I will execute this. So what will happen? It will open it in debugging mode. The control will stop here. You see, currently this control will stop here. If I would have uncommented this line, it will show you double click and you can see what is the value in that particular variable. Currently it is holding the 0001. Okay, so as soon as I will give these screens will look clumsy to you currently, so please ignore this for now, and you just F8, press F8, it will come out of it will complete the execution. So that is what debugging is. So when you click this button, debugging, it will automatically start from the first execution of the program first line, and it will start in debugging mode. Actually, it will automatically, without breakpoint, it will start in debugging. So actually what happens whenever you see here is the ABAP stack, you see, screen stack, how it gets called. There you will see 1, 2, 3. So here all the things started PAI, process after input. That screen that we saw where we gave the report name, that itself is a screen. That is a module pool program in itself. Okay, it has a screen. That screen has a field called program name. It has radio buttons called source code, attributes, those radio buttons at the bottom. So that screen is nothing but screen number 1000 of this program. Okay, so that's very designed. There is a recipe transaction code to look at the screen. Let's have a look at that screen as well. Okay, I see 41 or 51 is the screen painter. 41, right? So you give this program name, I think 51. It's for menu painter, this is not screen painter. I see 51 is the T code. Give the program name you give, and you give the screen number. Again, this itself again is a module pool in itself. Okay, so it was screen number 1000. So you give that. 10,000, and then you click on display. So these are all different kind of view. You can go through layout editor directly, or you can press on, you see, before output. And if I'll put breakpoint in these things, so when I'm executing that program, these breakpoints will trigger, because this is the PAI, you see, process after input, process before output in your module pool. So process after input gets triggered. Okay, layout editor, it will show you the layout design for that. So I think they are generating those input field and all in runtime. That might be the reason it's not appearing here, or I am giving something wrong. Otherwise it will show you one input field and radio buttons and all the stuff. Okay, we can go to in here, we can go to element list. Let's say let's go to element list. Okay, I think this is not the one, correct one, but anyway, so I think you got the gist of it. So this is how the loading happens. So first of all, these standard things, all the standard things gets loaded in the system, and this loads your program and then executes it. So first of all, a runtime gets created. Okay, a standard program is there, which is there is something called loader methods are there, loader programs are there, standard programs which loads your program and then they run your program. Okay, so this is that, those steps. Okay, so you can just go next step, execute next step, or there are different line by line you can go, each line, inside each line you can go, or skip one line, directly go to next line. Okay, then you can come out of this directly a loop, and then you can do F8, which is like directly take you to the final step, or the breakpoint if any placed. So I had placed a breakpoint here, you see it got stuck here, right F7. So this we will discuss about in debugging chapter. Okay, so when we will discuss, so that's what debugging is. Debugging will execute your report in debugging mode directly, and if you will execute, it will directly execute the report. Either it will show you selection screen, or if there is no selection, direct output is there, so it will show you direct output, just like in our case. Here it says with variant and variant. So what are the variants? Let's say we have any report, standard report, let's say chat star, let's see if anybody has designed anything. Okay, nobody has designed a selection screen. Come on, we will do that, don't worry. But I was just looking for something to test with. Program terminated short term. Okay, this is also good. So if there is any issue in your program, something syntactically is something wrong in such a way, just like divide by zero exception or many kind of those sort of exception which SAP cannot handle, it will go for dump, short dump. You see, short dump is being formatted, program terminated. You will get a screen, it will appear in some time. Okay, or you can, you see, this is how it gets terminated. Okay, so this program has been dumped, and you can see its description here where that particular code has dumped. It will show you, see, select star blah blah blah. So if you click on this, it will take you to that code, and there is a transaction code to see the details why this dump happened and all. That is called dump analysis ST22. So today there are 362 runtime errors. So we will see our client right now what is today's code. Yesterday these many. You can give custom date range as well and check. So you see currently this has been, this is this one, user best. So let's see what has gone wrong. Error analysis you can go, and here you can see let's say source code extract, which code is dumping. This code is dumping select star from S flight into GTS flight. There is something wrong here. Okay, they're selecting, might be the type or this GTS flight, that internal table, this is something called internal table, and this is database table. You see it starts with S, so it is standard table. So S flight is one of the table. We will see that as an example we will use. So that particular table structure, we are star means select all the fields. They're selecting all the fields from this table and all the data from this table and putting it into a internal table locally in the program. Okay, so this might happen that this table doesn't have the same structure as this one, maybe. Okay, or something has gone wrong, something else has gone wrong. Okay, its type is as flight only. Okay, that should not be the case. Okay, so let's see information error analysis. What it says, you're trying to use screen 100 in program. This screen does not exist. Okay, there is some screen issue. I'm not sure what is the exact issue here. Some screen issue, we'll see. So we will do this dump analysis as well, but not for this issue technically. Okay, so this is the statement which is causing this call screen 100. They have used this call screen 100. So within a program we can call screens as well. So here which is causing the issue. So we can change that screen number. If that screen doesn't exist, we can create that, or we can remove and use which is existing, and that will fix the issue. So that is one thing. So we have seen now. I was looking for something like selection screen should appear. So let's go for standard transaction. Okay, /NWE02, let's say. So you see, when we will execute a program, this kind of screen will appear sometimes. Okay, this depends on how we have designed the screen selection. This is called selection screen. So this is a standard selection screen for IDOC lists. So here you see you have different parameters. Whatever you give the parameters, based on that it will give you the output. So I'm just giving today's date. you see, and it will give you the list output is there. Okay, output got generated. This is standard typical. So how this appeared, I gave a transaction code here and I executed W02 transaction code, so this screen appeared. Or sometimes you can, corresponding to that W02, whatever the report name is there, you can execute that and get this screen as well. I will show you how to figure out. So there is a transaction code SE93, yes. So that transaction code W02 SE11, whatever you can give here, and you can check corresponding program name. You see, this is the program name. So either double click on this, you will go into that program, or you can copy this and go to SE38 and execute this program. You will get the same screen. So every transaction code has a backend program associated with it. Okay, so I will give this and I will execute. You see, same screen, exactly same screen. Now I will execute. I will let this appear. So now, as I executed one program, let's say it's a custom program. Let's say, for example, just suppose it is starting with Y or Z. Any screen I have designed, I will execute. It can be standard or so. What I want to do is I want specific IDOC. Okay, what is IDOC? I have already explained you in very layman's term. So just I want to see all the IDOCs which has been is in error status. Okay, so daily my job is to monitor the, let's say, IDOCs. Okay, so that is one of the part of my job. So there is error status, let's say, or success status. Okay, not posted. So this is error status. So everything will come up with a status. So whatever the data is coming from external system into our system, so that is inbound into SAP system. It is inbound. It is called inbound. So I will give direction as inbound. I will give all the direction, all the documents that has come from external system to our system, SAP system, which are inbound. That means, and which are in error status, today's date. Let's give me those output. But tomorrow again I will come. Again I have to execute the same report. Let's say, so every time I have to give this 2 here, 51 here. I don't want to do that. So what we do on the selection screen, there is save button. So what it does, just you save it. Okay, and save it with your name. Let's say I will give SFL underscore test. Okay, and give a description, error inbound IDOCs. Okay, I will save it. And you have to do one more thing here. Created on is there. You can make it dynamic. Okay, selection variable created on, you can make it dynamic. You see, dynamic system date calculation. Okay, so options, name of the variable, today's date, current date. Okay, equal to, you have to give equal to current date. So now you see, and oh come on, it should appear here. I think it should appear. Here also you have to give I means including, equal to current date. So this we will see in range tables. What is that I and EQ and everything. Okay, so I have given that created on date should be current date. Now I will save it. So what will happen now? I have given that created on current date. So tomorrow I will come, when I will execute this. All I need to do, I don't have to give these things. I will just go to this variant list. You see here, this icon will appear as soon as I will save a variant, and all the variants created by best. So I have created. So it will show you only one variant is there with my name. So automatically it picked those values and populated here. So tomorrow it will automatically populate here 21st January 2019, because tomorrow's date I have given this value as current date. So you can either hard code it, whatever you have given, just saved it. You could not have given anything, whatever it was there in that. Here just delete these things, remove these things. Okay, and then it will save you today's date as default. But I have given as current date, dynamically tomorrow it will. So I don't have to give these things again and again daily. So this has saved a variant here. Okay, let's see what are all the variants saved. You see lot many variants. So here is SFL test. Whenever I will come, I will just come here and I will select this one, and it will populate those values, and I will execute, and I will see my output. What all no IDOCs were selected for that date, let's say. Okay, so there was nothing in the error status, let's say. So this is how variants work. So when you see here option called variants, with variant, so when you will execute, it will ask you for a variant name. So you give SFL underscore test, or you can do F4 here, and you will see those variant list and select from here SFL test, and you do F8, and it will automatically populate those values here. If you execute without variant, those values will not be there. You will see. You see, those values are gone. So direct from here also you can execute with variant, or you can from here you can execute and then choose the variant and then execute the report. So both ways you can do. So all the options are available here. Then we have something called variant, same thing that we got. So here it is showing you this here. It is asking you to give the variant name. It will, you can delete or change or update the variant from here. Okay, so in case in future somebody say I don't want this variant, just delete it. Too many variants on my screen, it is appearing with my user ID. Just go here and delete it. So you can just select the variant and you can delete. I will delete it. In all clients, only in current clients. You see, it might be existing in the other clients as well, so depending on the system configuration. So delete. Yes, I want to delete all clients. Just delete it. Now if you will go here and you will do F4, I will choose for F4 here, you won't see that variant here. You see SFL test is gone, it's deleted. So that's variant management you can do. So same thing, same option is here as well. If you see, if you select variant and you will click display, it will show you the variant list, same screen, right, for variant management. Okay, source code is by default selected because when we will click on display or change button, it will show you the source code. We have seen already that, we have got into that. So let's see how standard code looks like, little bit how they have designed the selection screen. You see, this is all, I believe, a report. Yeah, this is a kind of report. This is not module pool, so this is plain simple report. Okay, we discussed about two, dialog programming module pool, and second one was report. So this is report, typical report. There are no screens involved in this. PBA, PAI, PBO, those things are not here mentioned here. So this is report. Okay, and then you can execute from here also, and you can check syntactically. This obviously it's the SAP program, it has to be correct. No syntax error, no warnings, nothing. Okay, so coming to the attributes. What are attributes? The attributes is like its main information about it, like under which package, who created it, and all the stuff. I will go into that little bit deeper on that. We need that, need to understand that actually. And then we have something called documentation. Documentation is very important in big companies where they follow this very delicately. Sometimes documentation will not be available, sometimes it will be available for some report. You see, it's not available in EN language. Might be if you log in German, SAP delivers everything in German, so it's a German based company, so most likely it has that. Text elements are something that you see on screen, or you see text elements, these are maintained here. So there are three things in the text elements: selection text, text symbols, and list headings. Three parts are there. So text symbols are used for generally for, let's say, table output, the column header name you want to see, right? So those things we maintain in text element, text symbols. So there is a number. So we don't hard code these text in our program. We will give here, because here we will have option to maintain translation, as I believe. We have, you see, go to translation, you can maintain translation for that. So we don't hard code this text. Whatever you see on the screen, the report, that table column name and everything created on those texts you see na on the screen, those are all maintained here, because we can do what you call translation here. That's why we don't hard code this as a string. We don't write in the code, we maintain here text symbol. Then there is something called selection text. Selection texts are nothing but the screen field, selection screen that you saw there. We had these fields on the selection screen as parameter, selection parameter, created on, again those things were there. So all those fields has been maintained here. All those, their transaction and their translation or English description is here. So it will pick from here. And list heading is the output heading, what it will show. You can maintain here. You see, these are the list heading, this column headings, which will be displayed in the columns that is being displayed as output. Okay. So this is something about text elements. So you can see what all the text element maintained for output. Or from source code also you can go into text element. You just select it and go to, you see here, text elements. So text element has three options. You go to any of these three and it will be side by side. All three will be side by side. Okay. So these are the basics about ABAP report. Program. ABAP for programming. Okay. And you see these three things are mandatory actually. Source code, attributes. These two things. Source code and attributes are mandatory, and rest three are optional. It can be there or it cannot be there. Let's say it's they might, sometimes people hard code also, they don't use it, they don't maintain documentation. So if I want to maintain a documentation, this is standard. I'm not sure if it will allow me. You see, it won't allow me. documentation. This is standard. You have to create a Y or Z. So go for any Y or Z programs. Okay, and then go to change documentation. So you can maintain the documentation here. Any description or all the what this program does, what all you need, what all parameters you need to maintain. Okay, so and what is this? I think some kind of they're using which is not compatible here, which is not correct, so it won't use it. Will go to, so if you see here, go to change editor, you see. So if you go to change editor or configure editor, there are two modes. There is this looks like you see, it looks like script mode. SAP script on concept is there for designing forms and everything. So we will see that. So it looks like that. It's notepad kind of thing. Okay, and you can change to like Word kind of format, MS Word kind of Microsoft Office, right? So you can change editor from here if you want. Okay, so every time whenever you go to any screen, just browse through these options, what all you have. You will have amazing options, something that will may amaze you every time. Okay, you might not have noticed while doing developments. I also have not noticed lot of things. Have not noticed many things I have seen, but I don't recall or whatever. But you can explore these things and you will get many things. But this system and this help option will remain every time same, but rest all things will keep changing. So from here you can go to your user profile also. You can default your user profile if you want. Let's see you. Oh, sorry. I'll go to user profile. I'll go to own data. You see, here I can set defaults like what kind of date format, currency format, decimal values I want to see. I want to see comma instead of decimal is showing. I want to see this date format. I want time format in 24 hours. So these are all my default values that I have saved it here. So these are very important actually when it comes to screen programming or interaction. In what format decimal level. Sometimes programmer does it according to his profile, and someone has selected it as this decimal notation. Okay, this kind of notation. So what happens that everything goes wrong in the system of user. So what we need to do, there is some logic we need to do. We have to convert it into the SAP's internal format, and then we have to process it. So SAP has standard internal format. Everything you can convert to that internal format, and then whatever the user profile may be, it doesn't matter what format they are using, internally it will be processed correctly as per the SAP standard. Okay, so let's get out of this. I don't want to save anything here. So this is all about this documentation. It is very important thing to do so that upcoming developers will understand what you are trying to achieve. But what generally happens that people maintain code comments. Generally they don't do documentation. Oh, again I clicked. I should have selected source code. Deny. Let's deny it. Cancel. Go to source code. Oh, so this is how it looks like in Word mode. Okay, go to source code, go to change. Now here you see you can maintain code comments like this. They have done some kind of pattern designing and all, so you can do that as well. And you can maintain here lot of comments here just before this report statement. We'll see what are all these things. Okay, first let's understand the basic overview. You can just put star, anything after star will be comments. So you can give anything. You can put what is the purpose of this report to generate something etc. You can give n number line of comments, whatever you want. Just put the purpose, and wherever you are doing the coding, just keep writing what is this module doing, what is that module doing, everything you have to write. So that is a good practice to put code comments. Okay, so now I hope you are familiar with this screen very much, only like brief over this screen. Okay, so whatever the development object we develop and their components, whatever we do like this attribute, whatever it is, okay, all are saved in the R3 database. So we have to understand first database as well. Okay, so just like with whatever the report source code has been written, it has to be somewhere in the database. Okay, so that when we execute here, when we do PAI here, we have given an input program name and we do display, we are doing an action, we are seeing an output here. So this output is coming from somewhere, coming from some table is storing these codes. Okay, so these codes are stored in something table called dd010 as some table is there, I think. That is not of concern where it stores, just I'm telling you. So whatever the development object is there, all the development objects are saved in a R3 database tables. Okay, there has to be a table, standard table available for that. So we have to understand database as well. Okay, so now coming to some more basics about this ABAP04 program. First of all, ABAP4 programs are interpreted, as we saw earlier that task handler and ABAP interpreter were there. So they were interpreting it and converting it to native SQL, whatever the commands are going. So it's never compiled, they are interpreted. And whenever we execute a program, right, system automatically generates a runtime object. Okay, whenever we try to execute a program, system in the back end, what happens, that system automatically generates a runtime object, which is like a pre-processed form of source code. You saw that at the time when I was trying to execute in debugging mode, some standard program got loaded. Then that standard program, that loader program, loads your program. Okay, this pre-processed form of its code, it gets loaded into that, and then it gets executed. So it directly cannot be run at operating system level. Okay, so we cannot run it at, that's why we need R3 system to interpret it. That's where that standard code loader program that you saw, that is where that is the basis, you can see, that is the basis work or layer which is interpreting your code and making it understandable to the database. Okay, so that is what is happening. So that runtime object which gets generated, that is also called the generated form of the program. Okay, if you change anything in the source code, runtime objects automatically regenerates itself. The next time you execute the program, it gets regenerated, that runtime object, it gets regenerated. Okay, so these are all like quite a theory about the programming and all. So we will do a little bit like practical here, small practical here, and then we'll move to data dictionary objects. Okay, so I hopefully not in this video, next video I will start data dictionary, that will be a better option. So let's start with something, that name we chose, right? Let's take this. Better maintain whatever you develop it somewhere. Okay, so just I will try to create it. Now let's see, we will see the attributes. Okay, okay, we were left out with the attribute part, right? So these things, whatever you will fill here, that you will see later in the attribute part of it in the program. Let's say test program. You have to give a short description here, short and sweet description, just enough to illustrate what you're trying to do here. Program 2 for SFL. I will give something. Okay, now you will see something called type. What is this type program? Include program, executable program, module pool program. You see here, there are a hell lot of types of program. What is this actually? When you see here, executable program. So executable program means directly you will give the program name in the SE38, you will execute it, it will get executed. Or you create a transaction code and associate that transaction code in SE93 I showed you. Every transaction code you can create there your own custom transaction code, and then you can link it to your custom program. So instead of coming to SE38 and then giving the program name and then executing, in the command bar you just give that T code and it will execute your program directly. So that's how executable program works. Okay, that is an optional for reports, but for module pool there has to be a transaction code, that is mandatory. Without transaction code you cannot execute a module pool program. What is include program? We will see these are nothing but reusable codes that we put, like we segregate for modularization, we segregate our code and we create includes, which also we create in SE38 itself. Okay, executable program, then include program, then module pool. I have already gave you brief about this. Screen, that is mostly screen program. Function group, yesterday we discussed in SE80, we saw function groups were there. Inside that we create function modules. Those are reusable piece of code, and for different purpose we create that. We will see those things as well. Subroutine pool, then interface pool, class pool. So so basically every time you will be creating here either a module pool, include program, or executable programs. Okay, you won't be creating anything else most likely. Okay, so better create executable program. Now status. Standard SE, is it a SAP standard production program, customer program, or system program? What kind of program? System program is something which we discussed yesterday regarding when we were discussing about, I believe, what you called, we were discussing about something where it popped up, I believe, client is specified, right, that statement. So when we do this client specified thing, we do it in system program, but we never develop system program. We generally develop application program. Okay, so let's not do this test program. You can either select for testing program or you can select customer production program. Generally we select either of these two. So I will select customer test program. Application, for which module? These are highly like useless things, I can say. You never bother. Sometimes you don't give, it's up to you, human resource or which module it belongs to. Okay, so I can give, let's say, human resource I will give, or you can give material management. Okay, authorization group, what it will do, there is something called authorization concept. Okay, so if you associate authorization group here, so all those users which are in that part of that authorization group, only those, they will be able to execute this, otherwise nobody else will be able to execute it. So that's for controlling also, so let it be. And make sure whenever you do these two checkbox, these are checked already. Okay, Unicode check active and fixed order. You can Google it why Unicode check active is needed. There is some kind of format, Unicode format conversions are there which is supported, so by default it should be checked always. Make sure it is checked, so never uncheck it, just save it. Now coming to this part, what is this? What is the screen? So you see, I told you everything we do is some kind of development object. So all the report we develop is some kind of program. Its type will be program and it will fall under R3TR category. And you can see here what are all the types of objects we have here. See, we will have table index, we have reports, report text. Actually this is report source code, so our is report source code, so this is REPS actually. Okay, so we will see when you will save it and we will talk about transports, we will see this. Then it is asking for something called package. So let's understand a little bit about concept of package, because we are going to use it every time we develop any of the development objects. We are going to need it. Okay, so there are two things. Few things which you want to export. So we discussed about system landscape, right? So how that movement of code happens from dev to QA, QA to production, how that happens actually. From here to here, dev to QA, then QA to prod, how it happens. So there is something called transport. Okay, so there is something called transport they use. Transport, and there is something called concept called packages. Okay, so transport is a kind of key, okay, which holds all your changes. Okay, and package is a kind of, it's a kind of what you call a wrap, related, everything related to one module, we put it into one package. That's what it's asking for. Okay, so we wrap everything whatever we have developed in one package. So we are not going to discuss much detail, so better I would suggest that Google on this package. Let's Google this package in SAP. Creating transport request packages, transport packages. So you can see a lot of blogs on this one, you can just learn. So just try to understand in this way, that if you want to send something, you need a courier, right? You need a courier guy, and you need one key which associate all your deliveries. So that is the transport, and that courier guy is your package. Okay, so everything is wrapped into one package. It is like divided based on the module. Generally you will have the package, let's say you are working ZMM, so they will create some ZMM module package, and we have to search what all packages are available here. Zstar you'll give, and we'll do F4, so any available package, or you can create your own package in SE80 transaction. Okay, so there are T codes for creating packages. Generally you won't have access to creating package or transport. So you won't have access to create package or transport. So you see, already it will be pre-built packages will be available based on the module you are working with. So just pick one package which is suitable to your module for which you are developing the report, and click on save. Or if you are not able to understand, you are doing just for temp purpose, don't give any package, just click on local object. It will save locally in this system, and this change will never move to QA or production anywhere. It will not come out of the system, or sandbox. If you are trying, then it will not come out of sandbox anywhere. Nobody can transport it because it is not associated with any package. It is associated with only local package, local object or local package. Its package name is, either you can leave it blank and click on local object, or you can give $TMP. $TMP is temp, $TMP, remember this, and you will be needing it a lot while practicing, because everything you will create in under $tmp package. And click on save. Okay, as soon as you click on save, it will create a object. Okay, so let's do one thing. It will create your object, so, or you can click directly. So let's go for G1. I will, because I want to show you some transport where when you give a package here, standard package, this customer, you will click on I clicked on local object, it saved locally. Oh my god. Okay, so you go to attributes. So you see here you see package is appearing $temp, it automatically saved. Even if I give the name, I clicked by mistake, I clicked on local object, it saved on local object. Okay, but now you see here attribute, if you click, you can go to display mode or change mode, it will display you the same things, description, what type of these things you have given here. So now you understand what attribute is. Now you want to change the package. You have wrongly assigned it to temp package, you want to change it to some other package. So how to do that? There is one way, I believe, which I know of. Might be from SE38 also you can do, but I remember the way from SE80. So go to SE80 ABAP development tool, ABAP developer workbench, and select here, let's say, is there any option for program? Okay, and then give your program name here and click on display. Okay, it will search that, it will display the program. Click on that, it will show you the code and stuff. Okay, this much code has been automatically generated. This is the first statement in SAP report. In any SAP report you will see report and report name. After that only our code comes. So you right click, and here there will be option for, I think, additional function. There has to be option for change package assignment, you see. So right click on it. So change package assignment you give, and you give here a new package, let's say JAD Adobe. So the thing is, whenever you give any other package apart from $temp, I think I saw one package named JAD Adobe. So what will happen, it will ask you for a transport request. This is, you have assigned a courier guy, let's say Blue Dart you have picked, but now they will give you a AWB number, right, consignment number. That consignment number you have to create so that you can track your consignments, right? So Blue Dart is a company, you can follow up with them, it will have lot of consignment with it. So how will you identify your consignment? With your AWB number. Similarly, while we are moving changes from one system to another system, how will you identify your changes? Using this transport key. So currently there is nothing in the system available, so I will create one. You can create one from here, give description, and just save it. Don't give anything else, nothing is needed, just give description and just save it. Test, I will give a test, and I will click on save, and you see it will automatically generate a key. Okay, and this is entirely a complete separate topic, transportation management. I will walk you through that as well, because that is very much needed. In some company you will be the owner of entire, like, moving this transport across from development to production, and in some companies your job is done till only development. Even you will not be given authorization to create a transport. Okay, so depending on the organization to organization. So coming to this, I have created. Now I will click OK. So package is changed, it is assigned to transport. Now our program is ready to move to other system. So I have to activate it again. Let's activate it, and now where can I see? Let's close it. We are already in SE38 we were in. I like to work with SE38. SE80 is very clumsy. Okay, so now our program is associated with where to see in this screen, where to see that transport request. You can go to utilities, you can go to version, you can see in version management, you will see that transport. Just double click on it, it will take you to that particular transaction. I believe it should update the transaction code as well. No, it's not updating. Okay, anyways, as we have come from SE38, that's why it's showing SE38. Technically this transaction is SE09, SE010, sorry, SE10, SE01, SE03. There are a lot of transactions. I think for all are for display, create, and different views, you see. So whatever I will click on display, it will show whatever the transport I have created. See, this is the transport. Oh, sorry, this is the one, I believe is our transport. See that our program is connected to this consignment. Okay, got my point? So this is the number from which you will be tracking your changes. So you can develop other development object, and all you can save under the same transport request. Under the transport request there is something task is there for, let's say, for the same area one guy is the other developer is there who is developing a database table for this. Okay, so if he's developing and he's trying to save in the same package and same, it should move along with your program. So what he will do, he will select this while creating that. He will select the same package that Adobe and he will give this transport request there. So what will happen, one more task will get created inside, just like this. You see inside this there is a task for my user ID best. So let's say another user is best 2, so one more will get created best 2. Okay, and he will be the owner for that. Okay, and his object database table will be inside that, just like we have report here, program here, he will have his table inside it. So we can just go here and we can edit it. So we will see this when we will discuss about transport management. We can change, we can go to change, and we can remove it from the TR so that it will not get moved. So that also we can do. So that is completely transport management here. So guys, don't confuse this transportation management with SAP's module called transportation management. TRM is there, I think, or SAP TM. That is a complete separate module which involves the actual shipping of the products, not this transports. Okay, not the code. So that is a separate module. So whenever you search with T codes, actually SE11, SE01, SE09, SE03, like those T codes, it will give you SAP transport, how transport requests are moved in the SAP. So we saw that local object and temp object, and now we have created one report here. So I will give you just basic statement here, write statement. So write, let's say I will give here SFL, and I will save. I will check if there is any syntax error, no error, so I will activate this. It's activated, I will execute. You see, it has written in the output SFL. Okay, so this is the basic report just I have created. I have not created any selection screen. That is a separate concept. We have to dig deep in that one. So I will keep it for next day or next session. Okay, and in our next session we will discuss about data dictionary. As I discussed earlier, that we are going to go through the basics of ABAP program and reports, and then we will go for data dictionary, but I think it's already over an hour. So in my next video I will go through the data dictionary basics. Okay, that is very important and that is very large topic. I think it will take at least 3 to 4 sessions to cover data dictionary, and we have to dig deep in that, because that is the soul of SAP. As I told earlier, if you are done with data dictionary clearly, so its concepts are clear, then you will be done with 20 to 25% of the ABAP itself. So let's close that session today, and we will connect again in our next video. Okay, so thanks for all the subscription and likes that you are giving your love to my channel. Really appreciate, and please, if you could share with your friends and families, whoever are interested in learning ABAP, that would be great. And your feedbacks are always welcome. Please leave your comment in the video, and please subscribe and do like the channel if you like the video. And thank you and have a nice day.